Stop the Nonsense, episode 7 is here and ready to go. Mickey Mantle, Carmelo Anthony. You got any sevens?
Nope, those are my two.
Those are your if I sound like I'm under the weather, it's because I am. Because my loving girlfriend works at a hospital and brings everything home. And then I get sick. Dude, I dealt with this in December. I've already missed a day of work because of this. I've missed 2 classes. I'm tired of this shit.
Being sick's not fun, especially during the winter.
No, it's the worst. And I'm not missing this, though, because we got a lot to talk about. And let's start in the NFL. Robert Kraft was charged with solicitation of a prostitute, where he was caught down in, was it Jupiter, Florida?
Yes.
Yeah, Jupiter, Florida, at a good old-fashioned spa. I don't know. There were allegations that this was a whole human trafficking ring. That has since kind of been walked back. Yeah,
they haven't finalized that part yet.
No, so it is potentially much bigger and much more serious than what we're hearing now. Not that solicitation of a prostitute isn't serious, but just Robert Kraft. What are you doing? You're Robert Kraft. You're the owner of the Patriots. Does he really need to do this?
I mean, sometimes you need to get it when you can get it.
50.
I think it was like $60 he paid.
I mean, this guy's worth billions.
Yeah, he probably could have paid more, but $60, it's a bargain.
I don't know. When this story came out, I was like, I don't know. I've got no idea how to react.
I just laughed. I thought it was hilarious.
It's just the typical like the pervy old man story.
Yeah, but I mean, good for him. 77, getting his
I don't know about that.
getting his schmeat sucked.
I mean, good for him. 60. Dude, doesn't he have a girlfriend who's like 30?
I think they broke up
Before or after this?
before, because I mean, they traced it back that this whole situation happened the day of the AFC Championship, like the morning of.
That I didn't even know.
That came out yesterday. So he was in. I think he lives in Florida. Safe to say.
Okay.
But apparently like the times came out and everything like that. So it was 11 a.m. East Coast time. He goes to the massage parlor. They got him on video with the exchange of money.
Okay,
all this nonsense, and then they have the times. He lasted 11 minutes. The woman's head went underneath the towel around his penis area, as the report says, and she cleaned them up, and he went on his way.
All right. First off, there's been reports that there is a graphic video. I speak on behalf of all of America when I say please. We're all set.
Yeah, we don't.
We're
need
all
that.
set. We don't need that video. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say about this. I don't know. I just hope that it's not a whole human trafficking thing.
But if that's the case, that's not even on Robert Kraft, in my opinion.
Unless he's a
It's
part
not like
of it.
he's I don't think he is.
I mean, Adam Schefter said there's really big names involved in this, and that one
Apparently,
is bigger
the
than
police came. The police came out yesterday and said that they released all the names already. So I think that report was false, from what I was seeing. They said all the Jupiter police came out and said all the names were released. So I think it was just fake news.
Okay. I mean, I don't even know what. I mean, you're a 5-time Super Bowl champ at that point. You know, just 3 weeks later, he'd be a 6-time Super Bowl champ as owner of the New England Patriots. I just think there's better ways to do this, Robert Kraft.
$60 and $60.
Better ways to do this. You can do it for free. You don't need to pay somebody.
He could.
I don't even know how to transition from that. Like, I guess once all the details come out, it's all clean up. Like, he was just charged. He probably won't have to appear in court. He could do like a year in prison.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he'll do any prison time.
No. How do you feel about the people calling that he should have to give up ownership of the Patriots?
No.
It's ridiculous.
He's stupid.
It's so absurd.
Jim Irsay is one of the most outrageous individuals in the world. He hasn't had to give up ownership. All right, this is
No,
not.
what is
This isn't a
what is
Donald
he?
Sterling situation.
Yeah, no. But what did Irsay have? 2 DUIs, I think.
Was it only 2?
Maybe more.
Feels like more.
Maybe more. But I mean, that's worse than getting.
Hey man, I own the Colts, man.
I think DUIs are worse than getting blown by an Asian at a massage parlor.
I don't know.
I mean, they're putting lives at risk
Yeah.
with DUIs.
Again, it's just that were these women being forced? It's illegal. Let's put it that way. It's
Yeah,
illegal.
yeah, it's illegal, but
I don't know how to transition to anything from this, so I'm just gonna say Landon Collins cleaned out his locker and said goodbye. How do you feel about that?
I want to kill myself.
Well, they
Not thrilled.
they can franchise tag him,
Yeah, I don't know.
but if if you throw the tag on him, does he then pull Le'Veon Bell?
And if he pulls a Le'Veon Bell, I will hate him. I will turn 180, and Landon Collins will be mortal enemy for the Giants for me.
Love to see him in Green Bay. I think I've made that clear.
If he goes anywhere, I hope he goes to your team.
I would love.
I will
that.
say that.
Yeah, I think he'd be great in Pettin's defense. Is it weird that I feel much better about this? I'll tell you it is weird as a Packers fan. I feel much better about the defense than I do the offense going into the offseason.
It's interesting.
We've got a neophyte running the offense in Matt LaFleur.
LeFleur.
Every time I hear his name, I just think, nope, should be Josh McDaniels. But I'm trying to remain an optimist. I'm not.
I wonder if McDaniels went to the massage parlor.
I don't care. It's another thing that this Antonio Brown saga continues to run on, and the funny thing, like, he's like tweeting out, "Contact me," this and that. He's under contract with the Steelers.
Yeah, that would be tampering. Technically.
Yeah, if a team were to contact
like.
him, I mean, the Steelers will decide whether or not he's moved and whether or not he stays. It's not his say. I know he wants to leave.
I think they have to move him.
At this point,
If they don't move him, it's just going to get worse and worse.
did you see the meme of imagine a team that had Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and Ben Roethlisberger? They'd be unstoppable.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
It is kind of crazy that they didn't win more. Like,
Yeah.
because you had a guy who at one point was arguably a top 3 quarterback. He was a top 5. And then you had the best running back and the best receiver in football on the same team, and they didn't. Did they go to an AFC championship? They might have went to 1.
They probably went to 1. If I can't think off the top of my head, but I would assume they had to have gone to 1.
I will say the Ryan Shazier injury really hurt them over the last couple years, because Shazier was like arguably the best middle linebacker in all of football, and it's good to see him walking. I know he wants to get back on the field, but that'd be a miracle if you ask me.
It would be a miracle. I agree.
Then I don't get it. That team should have won more. So Antonio Brown, the people are saying to Green Bay, I don't want him.
I just feel like he'll be a locker room cancer.
Yeah, wherever he goes.
Yeah. I think the whole antics he pulled towards the end of the year this year just really put like a bad image to him.
And there's a lot of people behind the scenes. I have a friend who was a Steelers fan and actually worked with the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time on her Snapchat, she like posted a picture of him walking on the field, and the caption was "asshole." And I was like, what? What's up there? Like, I was talking. She goes, listen. She's like, I've met a lot of the players. She's like, Big Ben is a nice guy, despite what you hear about him. He's always been nice to me. She's like, Le'Veon Bell, really cool guy. She's like, Antonio Brown has become a real dick. Was the word she's used. She said ever since he got that contract, he was a jerk and he was really tough to deal with. So, and she worked there I believe every training camp she was a part of the team. I don't know exactly what she did, but she would always be posting pictures behind the scenes. So, and players have come out and said that he was a nightmare to deal with as far as ego goes. I don't want that guy on my team, especially
No.
on a young team. I mean, there were Jets fans who want him. I don't want
Take
him.
him.
I think that'd be a mistake.
Go to the Jets.
I think that would be a mistake. And this guy he's amazing. He's amazing on the field, but he's also 30. So he's got, 2 years left before a decline hits?
Yeah.
If it hasn't started already?
He might have started already. That guy is trending down mentally.
That's for sure. That much is for sure. I mean, can he still perform? Absolutely. Is he going to have a great season or two left in him? Absolutely. Do I think he's worth the money and the headache? No, I don't. I don't want him on my team.
Yeah, me neither.
So I'm glad that. Very emotional weekend in Rangerland as we transition to the NHL.
Trade deadline yesterday.
Yep, and boy, moves were made.
Moves were made.
Our New York Rangers traded Matt Zuccarello to the Dallas Stars for a second-round pick in 2019 and a third-round pick in 2020, which would become a first-rounder if Zook were to re-sign in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. And the second-round pick for this year's draft can become a first if Dallas makes the Western Conference Finals.
And
so it's potential 2 first-round picks.
Zook responded by scoring 2 points in his first period as a Star, and then got hurt.
Yep, potentially broken arm.
Yeah,
from what I've seen.
He could miss the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, so not great.
No, and you know what? I knew this was happening. People flipped out, and look, I'm used to fans flipping out.
Always.
Stuff.
It's just so routine at this point where I'm not even fazed by it.
Stu Bickle. I will always go back to Stu Bickle. If you're sitting at home and you're a casual NHL fan and you're like, who the hell is Stu Bickle? Nobody. Don't worry about it. It's nobody you need to be concerned with. But Stu Bickle was a Ranger who was waived one day, and you would have thought that Mark Messier had died the way that Rangers Twitter reacted. It was so stupid.
It was absurd.
Stu Bickle.
Yeah, I'm safe to say that. I think we've brought up Stu Bickle at least
once an episode.
This is episode 7. Yeah, I think he's made every episode so far. So shout out to Stu.
It's the most action he's gotten in the media ever.
It might be.
Stu Bickle. But yeah, no, I get Zook. Zook was certainly a heart and soul guy who
he's a fan favorite.
Absolutely. And if he doesn't get hurt in 2015, maybe the Rangers win the Stanley Cup final. They should have won.
They might.
They should have won anyway, but he couldn't talk. He had to learn how to talk again. He had was it a skull fracture?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, McDonough.
Yeah, slap shot. McDonough, as much as I loved McDonough, he was my favorite Ranger when he was here. He would take out our own guys a lot with his slap shot.
Yes.
But but Zook he's not that player anymore. One, he started off horribly this year.
He showed flashes the last 3 weeks,
which is why you got a decent
traded.
Return.
Yes. People are up in arms that we didn't get a guaranteed first round pick and a prospect.
Well, this isn't NHL 19.
It's not NHL 19, and I don't know the thing with mostly New York sports fans. We overvalue our players way more than the league does. It's insanity to me.
I mean, okay, you're up in Boston, so you're around though. Do they do that with their players up there?
No.
Not
I mean, like the Patriot players, yeah.
Well, the Patriots, how
which
I
is
feel
expected.
About that.
Yeah,
it's all about Bill Belichick up there. But I mean, for that fan base, all they do is win. I mean, I'm not going to expect them to feel any other way. I can't really kill them for that.
But I mean, honestly, for me, before I ever moved up here and everything like that, I just thought Boston, scum of the earth, dumb fans. But I mean, if you sit down and talk to them, they're realistic for the most part. I know plenty of people up here that hate David Price. They think Boston's going to be a dumpster fire this year, as in the Red Sox.
I wouldn't be shocked if they missed the playoffs, but we can talk about that at a later time.
Yeah. But I mean, they're realistic up here.
No, I actually always said that when it came to baseball, my best conversations came with Red Sox fans because they're similar. They're very passionate about their team. Exactly. They want to win. They love baseball. I mean, if you love baseball, not just your team. If you love baseball, it's one of the best sports to like just talk to somebody about, someone else who also loves the game, because there's
outside of liking a team.
Exactly.
Like if you you can talk baseball with people that know every team across the league, and it's probably one of the best conversations you ever have.
I couldn't agree more, because there's not. I feel like because the season is so long, you can kind of remove emotion from it for every game as a game-by-game basis. Whereas as in football, there's only 16 games. You're all hyped up for your team every week. Whereas, there's a 162-game season. You're kind of more relaxed on a Wednesday night when, the number 4 pitcher is going. Like, you can have a conversation. Like, I've gone to so many Yankees games and had awesome conversations with opposing fans there, and which usually surprises them, because there is a stigma attached to being a Yankees fan. And it's Yankees fans' fault, by the way. But
it is.
Like, I'll see people in public all the time, and once I start talking to them and they find out I'm a Yankee fan, they don't even want to talk to me anymore. because
I get that up here.
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
Because people are just like, oh, this guy, he's going to think that, that all they do is win championships and that everybody's great. And, it's just, the 27 rings. That's the stupidest thing to say, too. Like, yes, you can be proud of your history. I mainly only talk about the 5 that I've seen.
Exactly. That I do the same exact thing.
Because, yes, we can talk.
I talk about the championships that I have been alive for and I can recall with my own memory.
Exactly. Because I'm not.
Like, I can't really talk about the 94 Rangers Cup.
No, me neither.
Because I was 3 years old.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
I didn't even probably watch hockey when I was 3, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I did.
So I don't talk about it. Yeah, I was alive for it, but it doesn't count as me witnessing the Rangers win a cup.
Yeah, not at all. So when it comes to the Yankees, yes, if we're having a historical conversation, we could talk about the 27 championships. But look at where we are now with as far as Red Sox fans. If I'm having a conversation, I'm going to talk about the 5 I've seen. They can turn right around and talk about the 4 they've seen. They're right there.
Even playing field.
Yeah. So I know a lot of Yankees fans are going to hear this and be like, no, this is stupid. That's fine. You don't have to feel that way. I don't want you talking to me about sports anyway. That you can have a reasonable conversation with opposing fans. You can appreciate players on other teams. I can watch the Red Sox and love watching Mookie Betts play. I hate that he's wearing that uniform. I hate it. But he's an incredible right fielder. He's probably the best right fielder in the game right now. And you know who's second? Aaron Judge. They're going to have to duke it out over the next couple of years to see who reigns supreme in that position.
And it's going to be fun. It can be eerily similar to Nomar Garciaparra or Derek Jeter at short.
And A-Rod
back in the
that
heyday.
time.
Yes.
And then you had Miguel Tejada. Shortstops now, too, are kind of similar.
Yeah, they're getting there.
You got Lindor. Didi when he's healthy. Corey Seager, Trey Turner. There's a lot of young shortstops all over the place.
Yeah.
That are really great players.
We kind of went off on a baseball rant.
Real rant there. I don't even remember where we started.
We were on Matt Zuccarello getting traded and how he was overvalued.
Yes, he was overvalued. But I think Jeff Gorton did a good job with that deal. And
great. I think he did great.
I think he did a good job overall, which brings you to the Kevin Hayes deal, which I think is even better. He sent Kevin Hayes to Winnipeg for a 2019 first-rounder, prospect Brendan Lemieux, and a conditional fourth-rounder in 2022.
Which I think is just, we're not even going to get that.
No.
That's if Winnipeg wins the Cup.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to.
Which there's a possibility, but
they could.
I don't see it happening.
I wouldn't put my money down on them winning the Cup
this
year. I would like them to win the Cup, though. I like that.
They're a fun team.
I like Winnipeg, personally. I love Patrick Laine.
Yep, I'm a Laine fan. Scheifele.
The Scheifele Tower.
Scheifele Tower.
Oh, my God, this sucks. All right, but Jeff Gorton overall, with those 2 deals, I think he did a good job. This is how you rebuild. You need these assets.
He's doing it the right way.
Yes, you're going to have tons of draft picks who you could potentially move for a player if you think it's time to go for it.
Which I see happening. Because potentially, right now, if everything goes the Rangers' way, they can walk away after the season's over, after the playoffs are over. They can have 4 first-round picks this year in the draft.
I would like that.
That is crazy town.
You could also use those to move up to get a player that you...
Exactly, because you never know where they're going to fall with the lottery.
On top of that, people seem to believe that Vitaly Krestov is the real deal.
He's looked very impressive.
I'm trying not to get excited over him.
Me too.
I just kind of want it to be like, because I've gotten excited over prospects before, and it's let
And
me
it just
down.
doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying.
And also another trade the Rangers made. They moved Adam McQuaid for a 4th-round pick, a 7th-round pick, and basically an AHL defenseman.
Okay.
So he stockpiled even more picks.
And that's what you got to do when you rebuild. You need assets. You need to bring in young players. And there was a story that Columbus inquired about Lundqvist. I think that's since been refuted.
Yeah, Rick Carpinello came out and said that was fake report,
Okay.
but who really knows? They did get a call on Lundqvist. One team called about him, but
Who knows who it was? I don't think he's going
Yeah.
anywhere, though. I think he's made his decision, and he's staying here, and he's going to see this thing through.
I think so.
And hopefully, who
There-
knows? Maybe he can pull a Tim Thomas and win a cup at 40.
You never know. I mean, with all the moves the Rangers made at the deadline this year, they have $22 million in cap space going into next season.
There's a lot of good free agents that are going to be out there. Panarin, who is rumored to want to come here. Erik Karlsson.
Erik Karlsson. Yep.
I mean, if you
Those are the
you sign those
if
two
you-
guys, the rebuild's over. You then have to go for it, I would think, because they're not.
I wouldn't say rebuild over, but it's a step.
I would say
if
as
they
far
sign,
as the mindset, like now you have to
Yeah.
change the way you were thinking and now go for it. You got to bring in guys to win.
Yes. But signing those two guys, I mean, that roster is still very thin.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be holes everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you see the Rangers re-signing either of these guys, Zook or Kevin Hayes? They're both free agents.
I think Hayes is more of a possibility than Zook.
I hope they do. I love Kevin Hayes, and I was sad to see
Me
him
too.
go.
But I don't know how much money he's going to want. I don't know how long of a contract he's going to want. I mean, I'm cool with. He's still young to the point where you can give him 5 years.
Yeah,
but it's just the terms of money.
I saw
basically.
somebody report that he was asking for $7 million for 7. I don't know how accurate that is.
I would still kind of do that. I mean, $7 million isn't.
It's not horrible.
It's not that bad.
Especially at this point with the contracts guys are getting now.
Yeah, I can't remember what he got in arbitration. I want to say 5.5.
I think it was
or
5.5.
6.
5.5 is what
Yeah.
popped in my head when you said it.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what I was thinking. But
And
I mean, wouldn't be bad value.
I wouldn't hate it. I'd love it. I'd like to bring him back. He's comfortable here. He's performed here. He's played in the postseason here, so he knows what's expected. And if he re-signs here long term, he's obviously expecting to get back to the postseason.
Yes.
But we've got time for that because there's a whole season to play until we get there. Matt Duchene went to the Jackets in what was probably the biggest acquisition of the deadline. And Wayne Simmons to Nashville I thought was interesting.
Nashville made 2 good moves. So they went out and they got Wayne Simmons. And then they also went out and they got Mikael Granlund. They're going for it.
Well, they've been so close.
Those are 2 big moves.
And I actually slept through the whole deadline. a product of being sick. I just laid and I kept waking up and seeing the updates. And when I saw Simmons to Nashville, I just thought that was like a really good veteran move. Like bringing a guy who's been there and who plays with a bit of an edge. He's not.
They went out and got Brian Boyle earlier too.
Yes, they did from
New Jersey.
But like Simmons, he's not the guy that he was 3 or 4 years ago. But
no.
he can certainly come in there, and he's been a part of some rough and tough playoff series against the Rangers, against the Capitals. He can go in there and bring that veteran presence. And look, this is how you got to play in this situation. So that's a good pickup for Nashville.
He'll be a good bottom 6 guy for Nashville.
Without question.
Definitely.
Without question. All right. Now I want to move into my favorite sport. Okay, the Yankees locked up Nick's son, the Fry guy himself. Aaron Hicks gets 7 years, $70 million, and he's 28 years old. I love this deal. $10 million a year.
I loved it too.
$10 million a year for this guy.
I am a little concerned about the term, like how long.
Yeah, it takes him to 35.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little iffy on that, but I mean, $10 million a year for a guy that's been on fire the last 2 seasons.
I mean, and this is just another example of the guys in the front office know better than the fans. Aaron Hicks was hated by the fans. They wanted him out because he couldn't do anything right. His first year here, he was hitting under 200. This guy's terrible. He wasn't even.
I was one of those people.
He wasn't even a good outfielder. Like he would.
I'm sorry, Aaron.
He would take weird routes to the ball, and it was like, I don't know. But they kept saying, nope, he's a phenomenal athlete. He's gonna get it. And now he's a fantastic center fielder.
He's definitely got it.
One of the best arms in the game. And his bat has come around. He set a career high in home runs last year.
Mm-hmm.
The only concern I have with him is he seems to have a couple of DL stints every year. So
Yes.
Other than that,
But with the Yankees outfield this year,
you can afford to.
yes.
And you've got,
especially with Clint Frazier possibly being the everyday left
I hope
fielder.
he's healthy. If Clint Frazier's healthy, and then you've got him in left, Aaron Hicks in center, Judge in right, and then Stanton's your DH.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
and then you have Gardner being the platoon outfielder.
the veteran guy. I like that a lot.
good.
And then you look at a couple of years down the road, you figure Gardner would be gone. If Clint has settled in left field, I mean, it's gonna be interesting here because you've got Estevan Florial, who the Yankees love, and
Yes.
he's their number one prospect as far as position players go. Maybe he gets moved just because there are a lot of outfielders there. And again, this is all if Clint Frazier ends up being your bona fide everyday left fielder. You've already locked up Hicks. Judge is going to be there in right field. He's not going anywhere. And you've got Stanton for the next 9 years on the contract. So maybe Florial becomes a trade chip. If not, and Frazier doesn't pan out, you can move Hicks to left, and then Florial will be your center fielder because Florial's an athletic freak type of player.
Yes.
But it's a great deal for the Yankees. And I know a lot of fans.
It's outstanding.
A lot of fans still aren't happy because they wanted the Bryce Harper, the Manny Machado. They're not doing that. They said they weren't doing it. They never said they were doing that, as we talked about on one of our very first episodes, where people said, well, we were told. Well, I don't know who told you that because the Yankees didn't. The Yankees, they got under the threshold to reset that clock, and they're more financially responsible now than they've been in a long time, and they've fielded what could be a championship team. They've made very shrewd moves this year and this offseason, bringing in the LeMahieus, bringing in James Paxton. They won 100 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
In a year where a lot went wrong. You had a
lot.
First-year head coach in NFL mode.
Manager.
First-year manager. You had Aaron Judge breaks his wrist. Gary Sanchez hits 188, and he gets hurt. He misses a lot of time. You had Greg Bird was essentially not there, did nothing. Stanton was up and down. He was streaky. Didi missed time. There was a lot that went wrong on that team. Severino was horrible in the second half. And if you were to list all those things off in the preseason and say, oh, this is going to happen, and then you say, would the Yankees win 100 games? The answer would be no.
I would definitely take the over on that.
So, you mean the
the under.
Yeah. So, the answer would be no. And Aaron Boone did a good enough job to keep that team together, and their talent took over, and they still won 100 games. So, I think Cashman and the front office realized that and said, look, we just need to fine-tune some things. They believe Severino is going to be more solid in the second half. Let's bring in another big arm, James Paxton. You bring in LeMahieu, who's a phenomenal defensive player who can play all over the diamond. And he's also a contact guy, where he's not going to strike out a lot because he got a lot of strikeouts in this lineup already. I love this team going into the season. I am so excited for baseball.
It really is, it makes me happy, to be honest.
Because they did the right things.
They really did. I mean, it's hard to argue with, yes, people wanted Machado, yes, people wanted Harper. But, I mean, the team that they built this offseason, it's a very good baseball team.
Solid.
It's well-rounded.
And we didn't even mention the best part of the team yet, the bullpen, which might be the best bullpen of all time. I don't know if you saw, Ottavino's session of throwing batting practice.
I did.
They couldn't touch him.
No. He had Torres swinging at air.
The way his ball moves it's ridiculous. It kind of reminds me of, if you remember, Jeff Nelson's little frisbee slider that he threw way back in the day. He's something special. That bullpen is going to be it's going to be delicious. That's the only way I could describe it. Especially for someone like me who's the whole hashtag straight filth. I love pitching. But right before we came on, some baseball news did drop. Our boy Nolan Arenado got paid.
Yeah, he did.
8 years, $255 million contract extension. It's $31.8 million a year. And I put it on Twitter. He's worth every penny, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is, in my opinion, the second best player in baseball. Hold on a second. It just came out. It's an 8-year, $260.
260. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Wow, look at that. So he's actually now not 31.8. I can't do that math in my head. It is 32.5 per year. So Nolan Arenado, the best defensive third baseman in baseball. I just call him the best third baseman in baseball. I think, as I said,
It's hard to argue that.
As I said, he's the second best player in baseball for my. And I know the splits. Every time I say this, people look at the splits. I've seen them. My statement stands. I've watched. I guarantee you, I've watched more Rocky games than anybody listening to this, unless there's a Rockies fan that listens to us that lives up in Colorado and is at every game.
I'd be impressed. Shout out to that guy or girl.
Thanks for listening. But I watch this guy nonstop. I am that baseball fan. I get the MLB game day package, MLB.TV. I watch before I had to be at work at 4 a.m. I used to watch all the West Coast games deep into the night, and I'll still do it sometimes against my better judgment. So I'm all in on baseball, and Nolan Arenado is worth every penny as far as contracts go today. All right, he's not curing cancer or anything. I get it. Somebody's going to jump in and be like, oh, nobody's worth that. These guys play a game. Yes, you're right. But you know what? This is the market. This is how it works. This is the money these guys make. And Troy Tulowitzki homered in his first at-bat.
He did. And Luke Voigt put a ball in the fucking orbit.
Glaber homered in his first at-bat. And apparently the Dodgers are back in on Bryce Harper, which
I saw that.
I'd like him in LA personally. I think that would be
good out there.
I think it would be good for the game. Get another star on the coast. Get him out there, and I don't know what if they've been to 2 consecutive World Series.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough for them to make it a third. That's really tough to do, and I'm hoping Clayton Kershaw can rebound and get back to being the Clayton Kershaw that I've loved watching. But he's had a decline over the last couple of years, specifically with his velocity, because he's had like these back injuries. I mean, this is a guy that used to sit between 94 and 96 the whole game. He's sitting 90, 91 in his most recent starts. So he's lost 3-4 miles per hour on his fastball, which is incredibly alarming. So we'll see what happens there. I think another more. I was trying to think like when we should do our baseball preview episode.
No, we have time.
Yeah, a couple of weeks. February 26th. I mean, the game's just started.
Mm-hmm.
James Paxton pitched his first
Big
game.
Maple.
Big Maple. It's such a cool nickname.
It's great.
And he's got the big maple leaf tatted on his forearm.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see in the NBA, LeBron is now top 10 all-time in points and assists?
Yeah, I saw it by his Instagram post congratulating himself,
Well,
like he does with everything.
He does that quite often, which is one thing
he's a douche.
I don't like about him. But
douche.
He's unbelievable as far as the player. Incredible. Only player ever, top 10 all-time. The one time I really got mad at him for congratulating himself was when he did it before he accomplished it.
Yeah.
It was like the day before he posted something and like congratulated him, and he didn't even do it yet. What if you would have gotten into a car accident and never played again?
I wish.
That's not nice.
I can't stand him. He aggravates me so much.
He's certainly a hot button type of guy. He's polarizing. Did you see?
He's a great player. I just hate him as a person.
Okay. I created on Twitter the greatest starting 5 ever, and I don't care what anybody says. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Okay. Here's my starting 5. It was going around. People were like creating starting 5s, like their all-time starting 5, going by picking a player from a certain year and then putting them together. I tried to take a team that was not just the overloaded stats-driven team. I just tried to think of like player styles and the time period where they played. I took 2005 Steve Nash, 1990 Michael Jordan, 2013 LeBron James, 2003 Kevin Garnett, and 2000 Shaq. Nobody's beating that team.
No.
I don't care what you put together. Okay, Steve Nash was ridiculous those 2 MVP seasons. I would love to see that team play together.
That'd be fun.
But did you see Curt Schilling and Jared Carabas going back and forth?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah, because Carabas said that Tulo getting so jacked up over the preseason home run is an all-time loser move. And Curt Schilling was like, nah, you got to keep an eye on a guy who's got something to prove, a former star who feels he's got something to prove. I mean, that's the thing. If Tulo can stay healthy, which is a huge if,
yes,
he's been in the past the best shortstop in the game. Like, that's who he was. And he came here to win, and he's here to play hard because he signed the veterans minimum. The money doesn't matter from the Yankees because he's still getting paid by the Blue Jays. So it's for him, it's all about winning a ring, and he's got something to prove. I'm intrigued to see what Troy Tulowitzki can do while Didi is out, and hopefully he can stay on the field.
I hope so.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
It definitely will be. I mean, I was a little skeptical on when they went out and got him. I was like, I'm like, I don't really know. I'm like, I don't know how much this guy has left in him. I get the vet minimum, so it's really not that big of a risk. But I've been coming around on it the last week or so.
Well, I think too when they signed him, we were all still kind of hoping for Machado, and kind of on that train. But I think the Yankees really moved on from Machado very early on. That they had just decided, we're not signing either of these guys. They had done it pretty
Which
early.
I don't blame him for moving on from Machado when he was wanting more money than what Stanton's making.
Yeah, no thank you.
Have a good one.
We're all set.
Enjoy San Diego.
Which means
A whale's vagina.
actually
You play for the whale's vagina fathers, Manny Machado.
well, I was trying to I think it means Saint Diego. No.
Definitely not what it means.
Definitely not what it means. Agree to disagree. But yeah, so he got paid $30 million a year.
He did.
He's living in San Diego for the next 10 years.
Not a bad deal.
They've got the best prospects, one of the best prospect pools in the sport. So maybe in a couple of years they're there.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it is what it is.
Their pitching needs a total makeover. They've got nothing going on in that pitching staff.
I can't even name you a starter on the San Diego Padres.
Is Tyson Ross still there?
I don't know.
I had all these names in my head last week, and then it's just, I don't know. I don't care. All right. This was a good episode. I like that we had a lot to talk about, and we fitted it within 40 minutes.
Yeah, not bad.
I think that's kind of our goal here, 40 minutes. There's going to be times where we're going to go an hour. But for this time of the year, to have this much information, I circled that Landon Collins thing in my notes because I really want to see him in Green Bay. But we appreciate you continuing to join us every week. As we say all the time, continue to rate, review, and share. If you like what you hear, let people know about it. Leave a review. We appreciate the ratings. We appreciate the reviews. We appreciate everything. Mike, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Mikey_DubsNY. Also on Instagram at Mike_Wimmers at WIMMERS. And that's really it. Where can they find you, Jay?
When I asked you where they could find you, for some reason, I imagined you breaking out into the chorus from Soul Survivor. Akon, just...
You can find me on the top down breaking the law.
Yes, on the block.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at JJPix13 and on Instagram at John Picarello. I haven't really been on Instagram. I don't know. I got to get back to posting every time we do a video on Instagram. I haven't really posted anything. I think the last thing I posted on Instagram was Julius Peppers retiring. So it's been a little while. But we'll be back next week with episode 8.
Coca-Cola is coming out with an orange vanilla Coke.
Why?
I don't know. I just saw a commercial for it, and I'm kind of disgusted. It's like a creamsicle.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross.
I mean, I've I'm someone who's not big on creamsicles. I know that.
Me neither.
I don't know. Yo, okay, this has nothing to do with sports. People were going nuts over the Lady Gaga Bradley Cooper performance. It was all right.
Eh,
I don't understand.
it was decent.
It was okay.
Lady Gaga has pipes.
She does. She's amazing.
I will say
but
that.
But the thing is, like, I've watched a Lady Gaga performance and been blown away and been like, whoa, that was incredible. That wasn't it.
I don't think it's a song that you can really, like, put on, like, a crazy performance to, but...
I didn't see the movie also. Maybe you got to see the movie.
I'm watching it today. I told Becca I'd watch it with her.
All right.
I caved.
You let me know, because maybe you got to see the video and understand the story. Because I was just kind of like, Bradley Cooper, not really a great singer.
No, he's an actor.
He's an actor.
He's not a singer.
A great actor. I mean, Silver Lining
Yes.
Playbook, American Sniper.
Hangover.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Thanks for helping us stop the nonsense.
Yep.
Talk to you later.
Thank you. Peace.